Hello, Algebra 2. I hope you're all staying safe and well during this crazy time. I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about some of your work and explain some of it because I think I could make it a little bit easier for you. And all I'm asking you to do with most of this work is attempt it. I realize you're not going to get all the right answers. You may not even understand all of it, but you need to see what you can come up with and understand. So what I want to start out with is on your first page that you had of your assignments, the radical functions practice assignments. I'm going to start there. I'm going to work a few problems for you. I'll probably break this into a couple of videos and I will save them all out to your classroom. So the first thing I need to do, though, is to explain how to simplify radicals just a little bit, so you have a little bit of background. So let's say that you wanted to know the square root of 4. Well, the square root of 4 is the same thing as having the square root of 2 times 2. Because it's a square root, I'm looking for any 2 factors. So because I have 2 2's here, then I can make this, instead of having the square root, now I can just pull out my 2, and that can just be 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. And y'all know that. But what if I wanted the square root of 8, and I needed to simplify it? So what I want to do is I want to take my 8, and I want to look at all the prime factors of it. So I'm looking for prime factors. And prime factors are, a prime number is anything that can only be, the only factors of it are itself and 1. Okay? So for instance, if I had 11, the only way I can come up with 11 is 1 times 11. All right, so that's a prime number. So that's what I'm looking for. So on 8, I can start out by going with 2 and 4, because 2 times 4 would give me 8. Then my 4 is going to factor again into 2 times 2. Well, 2 is a prime factor, so that's all the prime factors. So my prime factors of 8 are going to be 2, 2, and 2. So the square root of 8 is the same thing as having the square root of 2 times 2 times 2. Because I just took all these 2's and put them in there. Now, because it's a square root, again, I'm looking for anything I've got 2 of. So I have 2 2's here. So that 2 2's comes out as 1 2 when it comes out of the outside the bracket. So now I have 2 square root of 2, which is the same thing as the square root of 8. Now, let's say that we wanted, say, the cubed root of something. And let's go with something like the cubed root of 64. Okay? So I want to look at my prime factors of 64. Okay? I always start with either 2 or 3 because it's easy. 2 into 64 is going to give me, let's see, 32. If I pull another 2 out of here, I'll have, let's see, 1 and 6. I can pull another 2 out of there and get an 8. Here I get a 2, a 4, and there's my final 4, so it gives me a 2 and a 2. So now my actual prime factors of this are 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, and 2 here. So it's all those prime factors that I ended up with. I will ask that y'all please forgive me because I do have a 2-year-old, and we're watching Paw Patrol, so y'all may hear a little bit of all of that. So this is going to be the same thing as the cubed root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I need 2 more. 2 times 2. All right. So now, because I've got the cubed root, I'm looking for anything that I've got 3 of. So here are 3 2's, and here are 3 2's. So this 3 2's would come out as a 2. And the other 3 2's would come out as a 2 once I take the cubed root of them. So now I've got 2 times 2, and that's 4. So the cubed root of 64 is 4. Now, what if I asked for, let's say, let's just go with like the 4th root of, let's think 81 maybe. Okay, so Now, I want to do the prime factors of 81 still. And I know that 81 is the same thing as having 9 times 9. Then this 9 here, I know can go into 3 times 3, and this one can do the same thing. All right, so the 4th root of 81 is the same thing as having the 4th root of 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So I'm looking for anything with 4 of. There are 4 3's there, so that's going to give me just 3. So the 4th root of 81 is just going to be 3. What if I wanted, though, the cubed root of 100? So let's do some factoring of 100. I know that would be 2 and 50. The 50 is going to be, what, 2 and 25, and 25 is going to be 5 and 5. Okay, so the cubed root of 100 would be the same thing as having 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. I don't have 3 of anything there, so there's nothing I can pull out. So the cubed root of 100 is just the cubed root of 100. There's nothing I can do there. All right, so let's say we wanted, the cubed root of, let's do the 4th root of 64, since we've already done the cubed root of it. Let's do the 4th root of 64. All right, so we've already done the factors of 64, which were 232, 2 and 16, 2 and 8, 2 and 4, and 2 and 2. So let's see, I want the 4th root, and it's going to be what? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. All right, so that's what I'm wound up with. So now I'm looking for, what do I have 4 of? Well, I've got 4 2's right there. So that's going to come out as a 2. And I've still got the 4th root, and I've still got these 2 2's here, and they're going to have to go under here is 2 times 2 is 4, because there's not another 4th root. So my answer to that would be 2 4th root of 4. I hope that explains that. In the next video, I'll do a couple problems off of the page.